On today's episode of a Vintage Makeover, we are flipping this dresser, which is completely covered in stickers. And if you want to see how we revive it, then stay tuned. Now, first things first, we have to remove all of these stickers. A little tip I like to use if you have some stubborn stickers, to get that adhesive off, I actually use a lemon essential oil. This is just nice because you don't have to use any chemicals while removing in the process. Although these stickers are pretty cool, I think we have something a little more classy coming in for this piece. After all the stickers were off, it just needed a light sanding to rough it up before we started painting. And then it was time to remove our hardware. So I just got back from the store and I'm so excited about the color I got. I got it in a satin finish and it says grayish green color. And to go along with it, I got this antique glazing in the darker glaze, which will really give the piece that antique look, and I think it'll complement it so nicely. Rather than painting our stencil, we're actually going to be applying plaster because we're going to be creating a raised stencil effect. This technique is honestly so much fun and it's so much easier. It looks pretty intimidating, but beginners can really do this as well. I just smoothed on the plaster to a thicker consistency and then scraped off some of the excess to smooth it out and then pulled it off. It's just as if you were painting like a normal stencil. Alright guys, it's day 2 of our project and I waited overnight just for the plaster to completely dry and now it's rock hard, so now we're good to go and it's time to paint. This earthy green color that I chose is going to complement the pattern of the stencil so nicely and I'm so excited about it. For the majority of my piece, I applied my paint with a roller, but over the stencil I used a brush to get in all the grooves. The result of the raised stencil is so stunning to me because the process was so easy. This vintage damask pattern that I applied to my piece actually originated in China around 300 BC, but then it developed into a major weaving technique during the Middle Ages in the Middle East. And its name actually comes from the city of Damascus, and the textile pattern was prized for its ornateness, and that's exactly what it brought to this piece. Now it's time for the glazing process. Glazes are made to create the antique lived-in look, so I apply it to all the details of my piece and on the edges because this is where an actual piece would begin to age anyway. I really wanted my pattern to be my focal point of my piece, so I went in and I highlighted some of those raised areas by removing the glaze. This part is honestly so fun because it's so hard to mess up. You're really just roughing up the edges and some details. When redoing furniture, I think it's a lot about the details, so I decided to go in and paint this little detail on the inside of the drawer just to make it look more cohesive with the rest of the piece. It's the little things that complete the look. The original hardware from the drawers really complemented the pattern that I put on it, so I decided to keep them the same, but I just wanted to paint them a silver instead of a gold. Then it was time to replace that hardware, put those drawers back in, and see the final piece. And here's the finished piece. I think it came out so nice with those classy details on the side. And the green color complements it so nicely, and these darkened edges on the side to get that antique look just was the perfect touch to finish off the piece. The transformation of this piece was honestly night and day. It's such a beautiful rustic gem now. If you'd like to see more pieces like this, comment down below with your ideas because we'd love to make them happen. This concludes today's episode of A Vintage Makeover, and make sure to check back next week to see what we have in store for you. Head to our website to check out more of our stencils, and don't forget to tag us on social media with your stencil art.